1490 Sports Betting Radio welcomes you to Back Your Play with Q. Live from the studios of Longport Media, here is your host, Rich Quinones.
Good afternoon, everyone. 4 o'clock straight up, a Tuesday edition of Back Your Play coming at you. Live inside the friendly confines of the AM 1490 Sports Betting Radio studios. I'm your host, as always, Rich Quinones. Tyler on the other side of glass, producing a show, keeping us on the air. We'll take up to 6 o'clock, straight up 2 hours to play with on this 14th of September 2021. As always, don't forget the 609-445-1490. That'll get you involved into a sports talk. Bring something to the table. You can tweet at us at 1490 SportsBet. At Rich Q on Q. Busy show. Johnny Mack in about 20. Lloyd Vance in the 5 o'clock hour. And the NFL Week 1 is in the books. And first of all, can you figure out this league? Because I can't. I just can't figure it out. You had a bunch of road dogs pulling off wins. You had some of these teams get shellacked, i.e. Green Bay and my New York Giants, which I'll get into in a moment. And then you had the Philadelphia Eagles turning around and on the road with a young quarterback, a rookie head coach, going into Atlanta and absolutely waxing the Atlanta Falcons 32-6. Who had that? Who saw that coming? I didn't. Jalen Hurts, brilliant. 27-35, 264, a couple touchdowns. Smith, brilliant, as advertised. Sanders, solid. The defense, lights out after they made adjustments. Now, is this more about how bad Atlanta is or how good the Philadelphia Eagles are? It's always that overreaction Monday, Tuesday, and a Wednesday. But give credit where credit is due. The Philadelphia Eagles went on the road to open up the season, and now all of a sudden at 1-0, that is what you want. It is your best case scenario if you're an Eagles fan. And it's crazy, right? Because their odds after that game went from 100-1 to 66-1 to win the Super Bowl. So here you go. This is what happens. Overreaction. We get excited. If you're an Eagles fan, be excited. I was absolutely wrong on this one, and I have no problem saying it. I thought they were going to struggle offensively against Atlanta. I didn't think Atlanta was going to be this bad. I mean, Matt Ryan's got to be thinking to himself, what the hell did I get myself into? Your weapon was like a 40-year-old Cordell Patterson. That's pretty much it. But the Eagles showed you that, A, they can quickly overcome a deficit, right? They're down 3-0. They put together a 7-play, 75-yard drive that culminates from Jalen Hurts to Devonta Smith. First reception in his career turns out to be a touchdown. And it's 7-3. Atlanta comes back with a field goal. But again, the Eagles, after a punt, a couple of them, I should say, go on a 12-play, 52-yard drive, which ends in a touchdown, which was a great play by Hurts, improvising and just rifling one to Goddard, who made a great catch. And after that, that was pretty much all she wrote. They cruised from there. So your Philadelphia Eagles, who were a 3.5-point dog, win by 26. Now, early line has them, I believe right now, 3.5 to 4-point underdog against San Francisco, who hung on for dear life against a bad Detroit team. Washington lost. The Giants didn't even show up, and the Dallas Cowboys lost. So you're sitting pretty right now, 1-0 in first place. And I saw a lot of things I liked. And I thought defensively, now again, if you want to sit there and say, you know, Matt Ryan looks old, they couldn't run the football, they ran for $124. You know, that would be the one bugaboo, and the defense made adjustments in that second half. But it started to scare you a little bit in the first half because Patterson was running wild. But everyone got into the mix, whether it was Jalen Reagor, whether it was Dallas Goedert, whether it was Devonta Smith, whether it was Sanders, whether it was Kenneth Gainwell, who iced it, right, sealed that win with that 8-yard scamper late in the third. Everyone got into the mix. They got to Matt Ryan. They sacked him 3-4 times. They pressured him a lot. And that's a really nice win by the Philadelphia Eagles. A real nice win. Now, you're going to get tested a little bit going forward. And we saw what happened on Thursday night between the Cowboys and the Bucs, where if you like the under like I did, obviously you lost that. You couldn't cash that ticket because they scored 60 points, 31-29. The Bucs just showed you once again, Tom Brady's Tom Brady. But you watch Washington lose in a game that was part of Q's picks. So there's 0 for 2 right there, by the way. 0 for 2. Washington loses. They also lost their quarterback, Ryan Fitzpatrick. And full disclosure, because I tweeted it out, it's out there now. I have Washington going to the Super Bowl. Now you're going to have to do it with Heineke/Coors Light under center. The Giants, who don't even get me started, didn't even show up. My best plays over the weekend, the Dolphins won outright over the Pats, right? Because we picked that game, did we not? The Browns covered against the Chiefs. We won that one. We liked the Panthers over the Jets. We grabbed that one, but then we lost on the Texans, who surprised everyone, shellac in Jacksonville. But the Giants look like an abysmal team. Horrible team. So now, if you are a Philadelphia Eagles fan, you got to feel pretty good about your young quarterback. You have to feel pretty good about your head coach. They were creative. And look, one win doesn't win the Super Bowl. One win makes you feel pretty good about yourselves. Because I think the agenda, the narrative, the path that we were preaching out there was this team was going to have a hard time going in Atlanta. But now you're going to get tested. 49ers, the Cowboys, who looked good in losing against Tampa. Dak looked outstanding. Kansas City, Carolina, Tampa. Let's see what happens now. But you should feel good after one game to start the season because you got that win out of the way. You can't say that when it comes to Dallas, Washington, and New York. So nice win by the Eagles. We'll talk a lot more about this win and then them moving forward against the 49ers with Johnny Mack in about 10. As far as the other team up the turnpike, the New York Football Giants. I mean, can you just give me something? Can you give me something at home against the Denver Broncos? This defense that we've talked about, this defense that was solid as a rock last year, right? Graham's defense, they got playmakers, ball hawks, linebackers, the secondary, the New York pass defense. They let Teddy B, a.k.a. Teddy Checkdown, look like Montana. Improvising, scrambling, and for the 20th year in a row, the Giants, A, have zero pass rush. They can't get anyone off the field on third down. I mean, how many third down conversions did the Denver Broncos capitalize on? I'm watching this and I'm saying to myself, get them off the field once. You got a squad that goes 7 of 15, and oh, by the way, 3 for 3 on fourth down, which Bridgewater improvised in a couple plays. Great scrambles. But yet the game was not over. It was a competitive game when it was 17-7 and the Giants were driving. And then what happens? You get, written in stone, the Daniel Jones turnover, the Daniel Jones fumble, because that's what he does. The Giants are trailing 20-7 in the third quarter. He had a gorgeous toss, catch and run by Shepard for a touchdown for 37 yards. Made a couple nice throws. But here we go, 20-7, the scramble, can't get down, loses the fumble, and that was pretty much it. Saquon didn't do anything, and again, it's his first game back. 10 totes for 26 yards, as long as the run was 5 yards where the pile was pushed. Scoring again, a huge problem for the New York Football Giants. And the quarterback fumbling now wasn't all on him. That defense was horrible on Sunday. It was horrible. They could not get Denver off the field. They just couldn't. But how about Teddy Bridgewater? Denver's trailing 7-3, and they go for it on fourth down late in the first half. 4th and 2 from the Giants' 49. He connects on a 14-yard strike to Sutton. Cap off that drive with a 2-yard toss to Patrick with 8 seconds to go. And as I mentioned, this after the Giants took the lead on the catch and run by Shepard. And then you have the inexplicable, the challenge by Joe Judge, who basically challenges a play you rightfully have no business challenging, which ended up costing the Giants their first time out of the second half. You cannot challenge touchdown pass. He was yelling at the officials to ask them what the replay showed, and they would not talk to him. So he just threw the flag, which is just inexplicable. All scoring plays are already reviewed. The defense, to me, was the biggest culprit. And once again, the quarterback who, let's not sugarcoat it, was pegged as the franchise leader and the franchise quarterback, has not given you that, has not shown you that. Even though it's week 1, year number 3, I need more from Daniel Jones. I need more from the offense. The defense was abysmal. And then, of course, you get the Gordon to run late, and that's when the defense is selling out. 27-13. Denver easily covers. The Giants got some issues. Now, I know people are saying right away they're a live play on Thursday night, short week, against the Washington football team. In a game, by the way, where they're already a 3.5, 4-point dog. In a game where Daniel Jones has had success in his career against Washington. Both teams are desperate. It's a divisional game. You can live with losing an out-of-conference game to start the season. You got to win your divisional games. And I hate to say all the pressure right now. I mean, it's a 17-game season. Am I going a little goofy, a little cuckoo for saying that it's a must-win situation for the Giants? No, I'm not. Because both teams are desperate. Because if the Giants come out flat on Thursday and their offense in a league where every team is scoring 25, 30 points, if they lose that game, can they beat Atlanta? Who knows? Can they beat the Saints? Not the way Winston's playing. Can they beat the Cowboys? Not the way Dak's playing. Can they beat the Rams? Did you see what Stafford did the other night? They might be staring down the barrel of another 0-5, 0-6, 0-7 start. So it's extremely important for these teams to get out of the gate, to feel good about themselves. I mean, the way they lost on Sunday, you got to let that sit and marinate. You got to win on Thursday night. Now you got a couple days to rest. You're feeling pretty good about yourselves. And you come back home to wipe off that stink, and you play the Falcons. I mean, the NFL week 1 was absolutely crazy. We loved the Steelers. That was our other game. We said the Steelers were going to cover. They won outright. Cincinnati gets a win in dramatic fashion. The 49ers blow a huge lead, hang on for dear life. The Cardinals, maybe the most impressive victory next to the Eagles because of the young players with that Eagles roster. But how about the Cardinals? How about Murray? They waxed the Titans. Think about all these road teams. The Chargers on the road, Seattle on the road, Arizona on the road, 49ers on the road, the Steelers on the road, the Eagles on the road, Denver on the road. All these road teams, Miami on the road. My two biggest takeaways from a positive standpoint, the Saints and the Cardinals. From a negative standpoint, I have theories on what happened with Green Bay that I'll talk to Johnny Mack and Lloyd Vance about. I have some theories. That was a pathetic display of football by the Green Bay Packers. And then you had the wild game last night. Again, listen, can we start talking about Lamar Jackson and his fumble issues? And then Carr, who's the much maligned Derek Carr, goes out, and what does he do? 34-56 for 435 and a couple touchdowns. And the game winner in overtime. Big win for the Raiders at home to kick off the season. on Monday Night Football. Very, very big win, 33-27. So like I said, I'm telling you right now, I suspect my theories are out there because you guys are tweeting me already with Rodgers. And I know people will look at week one and it's the overreaction, right? That's what we do. We overreact. Let's give credit where credit is due. For Pittsburgh to go into Buffalo and win, that's big. For the Eagles to go on the road against Atlanta, a bad team, but win, that's big. For Cincinnati, who blows a lead late and then comes back in overtime and wins, that's big. Arizona waxing a team that people think will represent the AFC in the Super Bowl, the Titans, waxing by 25 is big. And how about Sammy Darnold? How about me just throwing it out there to the other day, taking a flyer on him as comeback player of the year against his old mates, 24, 35, 279, a touch, a scramble, hooking up with Robbie Anderson. It's the NFL. So all the talk, and I've preached it for years, right? Defenses are always behind the offenses. Not so fast, my friends. We didn't see that on Sunday. A lot of points. We'll get a look at some of the early lines as well. McMullen on the other side, Vance in the 5 o'clock hour. You guys as well. 609-445-1490. At Rich Q on Q. At 1490 Sportsway. We're just cranking it up. Kicking it off on a Tuesday edition of BYP right here, 20 past the 4 o'clock hour on AM 1490 Sports Betting Radio.